Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. In this one we're going to go over the MLB opening day games and how the odds adjusted from the opening to where they are currently. Now the odds are a little bit different, noticeably different depending on the sports book you go with, but that's going to change as we approach the opening pitch. But yeah, we're going to start with the Milwaukee Brewers versus the New York Yankees. But first, we're gonna go over. Well, these are the opening odds on your left. Current odds are on your right. Now, notice the current odds on your right: plus 138, minus 147. This is what I was talking about. See it's sporadic, basically. Plus 124 now, minus 146 now. Depending on the sports book you go with. Even DraftKings is somewhat in the middle of that right now, but it's all gonna pretty much come together as the odds as we approach game time. But the betting splits, we have those as well. We're going to go over that in a moment. But yeah, let's get started with the decode real quick. All right, opening odds: plus 145 for Milwaukee, minus 175 for the New York Yankees. Currently they have it at plus 138, minus 147, but we're going to focus on the FanDuel one. This is Odd Shark. We're going to focus on the FanDuel one, but here we're just going to focus on the opening odds, the ones on the left right here. So as you can see, it's open at plus 145 for the Brewers, minus 175 for the Yankees. Currently it is plus 124, minus 1 for the Brewers, minus 146 for the Yankees. Over under run line 7.5, minus 122. Always focus on with the totals. Oh, well, the run line is a spread, excuse me. With the totals over under 7.5. Always focus on the higher negative, minus 122 plus 100. The run line, obviously 1.5, one run and a half, a run and a half. Always focus on the higher negatives and where the money is going with that. So we'll scroll down here, and yeah, these are where the odds are, where the money and the betting is going. But we'll go over that after we go over this. Now, we're going to focus on the minus 166 for the Milwaukee Brewers on the run line. And we're going to start with the money line first, though. Plus 124 for the Brewers, minus 146 for the Yankees. 73% are betting on the Yankees, no surprise. 27% betting on the Brewers, money-wise. Betting wise, 89% for the Yankees, 11% for the Brewers. Run line is at 1.5, favoring the Yankees, plus 138, minus 166 for the Brewers at plus 1.5, 1.5 runs. Obviously, that's pretty much the standard for run line for baseball, MLB baseball. We're going to focus on this minus 166 for the Brewers, as well as this minus 122 total for the game at 7.5 points. Over-unders, obviously, the overs are dominating 98%. People expecting this to be a high-scoring game. And you might want to join the public in that minus 122 whenever the numbers are higher. Now, this is obviously going to fluctuate throughout the day, but maybe not too much. It's not going to even out. So minus 122, the over looks like a safe pick. Of course, if you want my final picks, hit me up on the Patreon. Link is in the description and in the video. Minus 166 for the run line for the Brewers right there. As a dog at 1.5, they're getting 32% of the money. The Brewers are on the run line, 68% going with the Yankees. 25, 75, 25 for the Brewers, 75% of the betting going to Yankees. So the Yankees are basically, no surprise, dominating the splits, dominating the splits right now, where the money is going. I would say in this type of game, people are betting heavily on the Yankees on the money line, heavily on the over here, which you should join, and the run line, the spread, minus 166. Minus 166 for the Brewers at plus 1.5 as a dog. This is one of those games where you might want to consider, because it's 68%, but this is actually going to fluctuate. This may get a little higher. This may get in the 70s percentile by the time the game time comes around. You may want to fade the public only in this instance. Only in this instance that the Brewers' money and the betting decreases, especially the money. If this goes below 30%, you might want to go with the Brewers on the run line. As it currently stands, go with the Yankees across the board, even on the money line, but that's only as it currently stands. If you see this approaching minus 150, that's a lock for the Yankees to win this game. But let's go on with the Orioles and the Rays. Let's scroll down a little bit. Orioles minus 116, minus 102 for the Blue Jays, minus 116 for the Orioles, minus 1.5 for the Orioles on the run line at plus 150, plus 1.5 for the Blue Jays at minus 182 cost. That is the costs and the negatives and the positives. Over under is at 8.5 runs. No, total. Total is at 8.5 runs. Over under total is at 8.5 runs, minus 105 for the over, minus 115 for the under. Whenever you see this minus 105, this minus 105 in any sport, the minus 105s hit well over 65-70%. Well over. So whenever you see this minus 105 in comparison to minus 115, you have a better chance of winning going with the minus 105. Now, let's see where the money is going in this one. Total, we'll start with the totals here. 96% for the betting, 92% for the money on the over. So people betting heavily on the over. And that may be a wise pick if this minus 105 holds up at that cost. Minus 105s hit more than the minus 115s for sure. Now, this is pretty much a pick'em game, minus 116, minus 102. This gives the Orioles a 52% chance to win. Blue Jays a 48% chance to win. Somewhat of a pick'em game. Let's see where the money is going on the ML. See, pretty much about 51-49, just about there. About just like it is, minus 116, minus 102. Just like their percentage to win. Run line. 58% going with the Orioles, 42% going with the Blue Jays. Minus 182 is going with the Blue Jays. So, in this instance, and you see how they're just toying with this minus 102. This minus 102, if this increases at all, the Blue Jays are a lock to win this game. If this increases above minus 102 consistently, go with the Blue Jays on the ML, and I will definitely at that minus 182. That is a high, especially for opening day. That's a very high cost for a run line. I would join the. I would go with, okay, so the public's going with the Orioles. Obviously, they're the favorite, but I would go with the dog in this one. Across the board and go with the over. Only as it currently stands. On my Patreon, I'm going to go over how these odds adjust, as well as the picks, and may do a little bit of props as well. But we'll see. Boston Red Sox versus Texas Rangers. Minus 112 for the Red Sox. Minus 104 for the Rangers. This is even more of a pick'em game. 51% chance to win for Boston, 49% chance to win for Texas. And the run line, I always focus on the negatives. Minus 172 for the Rangers at home at that high cost. Over under 7.5. Minus 122 going with the over. I'm pretty sure the over is getting most of the money anyway. It is 97% across the board. 85% of the money going on the run line. 85% of the money going on the run line here. Plus 142 for Boston. People looking to cash that out. I would fade the public in that one and go the other way. As well as, 70% are going with Boston on the money line. Minus 112. In this kind of game, as it currently stands, that minus 172 is a very high total to ignore. despite only getting 15% of the money. But people looking to cash this 85% out at this plus 142. That is a lot of money to pay out. And I don't think the sportsbooks are going to do that. So, but the Red Sox look good on the ML. They look good on the ML as it currently stands. Texas is at home. That's hard to go against. When the Rangers are at home, they really do well on opening day when they on their first game of the season. Home game of the season. They regularly win in recent years. Since I've been watching baseball, they do pretty well at home opening day. Minus 172, but Boston looks good on the ML. Rangers minus 172 spread right here. Looks safe. All right, Phillies versus Nationals. Minus 176 opening for the Phillies, plus 148 for the Nationals. Let's refer to the opening in this one. Let's refer to the opening. As you can see in the previous game, Texas opened as a favorite, minus 142, plus 120. Then the odds switched. But see, which makes me think Texas is an enticing pick because they went to the negative. Both teams are in the negatives. It was a lot like the Super Bowl. Remember, the Eagles were somewhere teetering around that plus 100, minus 102, plus 102, minus 104. They were teetering around that for about a week and a half after the championship games. But yeah, that just the lower one in this instance, especially when it's not that high. Boston's only minus 112. But go with the lower one only if they teeter between that plus and minus, because they're adjusting that for a reason. Always look where the splits are, or look where the money is going. Minus 176 for the Phillies. 93% going with the Phillies. 99% going with the Phillies on the run line, on the spread. At that plus 100. Minus 120 for the Nationals. Plus 148. Now, if this goes see, overs are getting 99%. That is super high. In this one, I would have to fade the public on the total. I would love to fade the public on the money line or the spread. This is all in the 90s. 99. And this is real time, by the way. This is based off global sportsbook averages, all of these splits, where the money is going based off global sportsbook averages with these sportsbooks. 99% going with the Phillies, 93% going with the Phillies on the money line. I would join the public for the Phillies, but fade them for the total in that one. Let's put it that way. Only as it currently stands. If you want my final picks, subscribe to the channel and get on the Patreon. Link is in the description. But yeah, Cleveland versus Royals, plus 112 for Cleveland opening money line. Current money line. Minus 132 for the Royals. All right, over under 7.5 points, minus 112 over, minus 108 under. And the run line, minus 205 for the Guardians, minus 1.5 for the Royals. But that minus 205 cost is what we want to focus on. This is the only thing we want to focus on. It's higher than the money line. So let's scroll down a bit. So all the games must start at the same time. All right, 90% going with the Royals on the run line. 90% going with the Royals. They're looking to cash that out. I would fade the public on the run line. Therefore, you would go with Cleveland on the ML as well. Over under 7.5 points. Minus 112 cost. I would definitely, over 7.5 points. 99% going over. Obviously, that's going to change. Now, these 90s are going to change throughout the day. Obviously, people are going to go the other way in some capacity. But I would definitely go with, I would join the public only as it currently stands at that minus 112 on that total. Let's scroll down to the next group of games. All right, Mets versus Astros. Plus 116 for the Mets. Minus 134 for the Astros. Run line plus 1.5 minus 200 for the Mets. Over under is at 8 points. Minus 102, minus 120. Going with the total in that one. Now that minus 200. That minus 200 right here on the run line. All right. 65%. Okay, money line. 65% of the money for the Mets. Going with the Mets here. Now the run line, they're getting only 45%. This minus 200 is getting only 45%. With that being said, Astros are at home. It's probably going to approach. This is probably going to approach 50% on the money line I'm talking about. 50%. If Astros go up, this goes up to about, let's say, 40, between 42 and 46, 45%. And these odds either stay above that minus 130 and definitely go up from here, go with the Astros. But as it currently stands, I would go with Mets across the board, and I would go with the under 8. All right, Giants versus Reds. Minus 112 for the, basically another pick 'em. Obviously, it's opening day, so you're going to get a lot of these. Minus 112, minus 104. Giants versus Reds. Money line, run line. Minus 1.5 for the Giants at plus 136 cost. Plus 1.5 for the Reds at minus 164 cost for Cincinnati. Over under 7.5. And the over is getting that minus 122 cost. Reds are getting the advantage on the cost, the higher cost, at minus 164. All right, which is getting 30% of the money. 53% of the money going with the Reds on the ML, though. So they're getting most of this and getting this one. So if you go with them, if you go with them on the run line, you have to go with them on the ML. That only makes sense because they won't let you do both, no matter what sportsbook you go with. So minus 122 over 7.5. San Francisco Giants 70%, 47% for the Giants on the ML. I would go with the, only as it currently stands, Reds across the board over 7.5. I would go with that. Braves versus Padres. Minus 122 for Atlanta, plus 104 for the Padres. Let's see where the money is going. All right, 66% going with the Braves, 34% going with the Padres in this one. Minus 122 for the Braves. The only way I could tell this right now, the Braves are getting 66% of the money currently. Sorry about that. They were getting 66% at that minus 122 cost, which means we have some versatility here with the where we could go with the run line. Minus 176 for the Padres. Now, this could be a day where the run lines get you paid early in the season. 96% going with the Braves at this plus 146. The only way I would go with the Padres is if this plus 104 turns into minus 104 or goes to the negative side in general. That is the only way I see the Padres winning this game, as long as they hold their end on the 34% of the money. 96% of the money going with the Braves. They look safe across the board. Over is a very, very low 6.5 minus 124 under 6.5. Most people going to go over in this one, obviously. But I would fade the public and go under just because it's so low. There's a money-making opportunity here, too, with this plus 102. So I would take that. Well, it's not really a risk. It's really just a pick. In this instance, under 6.5 at plus 102 right here. That's what I would go with. LA Angels versus Chicago White Sox. All right, let's scroll down a bit. Minus 158 to plus 134. Let's see where the money is going. Hold on. Okay, right here. 86% money line going with the Angels at that minus 158. They're above that minus 150 sweet spot. It's hard to go against that, and they're getting the most of the money, and they're a favorite. It's hard to go against that in this instance. They're over that minus 150 threshold, especially in baseball. Now, the White Sox have that minus 132. Where's the money going on the run line? 96% going with the Angels. People looking to cash this out. Plus 110. It's not a high. It's not a high spread, but they are getting a ton of the 96%. And I would go with only as it currently stands, I would go with the Angels across the board. I would join the public across the board. Where's the over under? Okay, join the public across the board. Across the board in this game. Only as it currently stands, but it doesn't look like the odds are going to change very much. Angels are a noticeable, sizable favorite. The run line is low, cost at plus 110. I would join it in this over under, minus 122 over under, getting plus 100. Now, don't get it twisted. That minus 122 is the extra fee. But that plus 100, they still make money out there because that's pretty much profit. That's 100% profit. So, yeah. I would join the public, though. I'm going with the over in this one. Only as it currently stands. Watch if this goes down to minus 105, minus 102, the under gets to minus 105, minus 115 for the over, I would go with the under. And that's the only way I would go with the under. Now, Pirates versus Marlins. Minus 156 money line for the Pirates, plus 132 for the Marlins. Where's the money going? 84% going with the Pirates, 16% going with the Marlins. And they're above that minus 150 threshold. It's hard to go against that in baseball. You don't get these kinds of odds that often unless it's a noticeable favorite, especially early in the season like this. Opening day. Minus 144 cost for the plus 1.5 run line Marlins. All right. 99% going with the Pirates currently. Now that's going to change. I would go with the Pirates on the ML currently, only as it currently stands. Marlins on the run line. Over under 6.5. That under is getting that minus 1.5, which hits more so than the minus 115s. And that under is getting 9%. I would fade the public and go with the under in that one. All right, Twins versus St. Louis. Minnesota Twins versus St. Louis Cardinals. Minus 110 for the Twins. Minus 106 for the St. Louis Cardinals. Ultimate pick'em game. Let's see where we at. Scroll down. All right. 79% going with the Twins in this one. Going with the Twins in this one. Plus 1.5 run line. 155 run line for the Twins. Plus 1.5 run line for the Cardinals at minus 188 cost. Minus 188 cost. 96% going with Minnesota in this one. This is another one of those games. Close game. Take that opportunity. Bookie's gonna cash this. This minus 188 is probably the one, other than the minus 205 we saw earlier, probably the highest of the day, the second highest of the day as far as a run line. I would go with St. Louis on the run line, Twins on the ML, only as it currently stands, and they're getting 79% of the money. Over under 7.5 at minus 105 cost, going with the over. And that over is getting 98% of the money. I would join the public and go with the over in that one. All right, next one. Where we at? Detroit versus LA Dodgers, the champs. Alrighty. Naturally, the champs are a favorite, minus 178. Favorites for the wait, let me go back up. All right, minus 178 favorites for the Dodgers, plus 150 for the Detroit Tigers. Let's see where the money is going on the ML for this one. All right, 95% going with the Dodgers, naturally. At home, 98% going with them on the run line at plus 125 cost. Minus 150 calls for Detroit at minus 150 for them on the run line and plus 150 for them on the ML. So that 99, 98, 93%. Let's see. Do they normally return as champions? Snell is the pitcher opening. Screwball for the Tigers. Over under is at minus 122 at 6.5. 6.5 over. I would join the public and go with the over. Now, the Dodgers minus 178. 95%. See, there's 95 and 98. This could be an upset. I'm not confident in the Dodgers to win this game very much. Despite just winning the championship, I'm not very confident in them to win this game. With that being said, there's plus 150, minus 150. See, that's perfect symmetry. Normally, when you see that plus 150, minus 150, it's with the plus 150 run line, minus 150 ML. This is the opposite of that. You rarely see that happen. It's usually the other way around. The negatives in the ML and the positives in the run line. But I would take the risk, take the opportunity and go with the Tigers on the road. Beware of home favorites. Go with the Tigers on the road. Oakland A's versus Seattle Mariners. Plus 138 for Oakland. Minus 164 for Seattle. Minus 164 for the Athletics. Plus 136 for the Mariners. Let's see where the money is going with these two. 16% going with Oakland. 84% going with the Mariners. On the money line, that is 84% going with the Mariners. I would join the public in that one. Let's see where the run line is. 28.72. I'm gonna take it now. Seattle will not be at 72. It'll be a little less than that. It'll probably be closer to 58 or 60 come opening pitch. Minus 164 for the Oakland A's. Plus 1.5 for the minus 164 plus 1.5. They're a dog. So minus 164 run line at 72 at 28. 72% going with Seattle. I would go with Oakland here. Minus 164 here. Mariners at home. Over under. Under is getting that minus 122 cost. Over under is at 7. And I would join the public and go with the over. I would join the public and go with the over because this is probably going to turn out to be one of the, when you see a low run line, the low total, this is probably going to turn out to be minus 105, and this is probably going to be minus 115 by the time the opening pitch happens. If not, under is going to be minus 120, over is going to be minus 102, something like that. Go with the over. Go with the over and see what happens with that one. Yeah, I would go with the over. And bet confidently in Seattle at home and Oakland on the run line. Cubs versus Diamondbacks. Plus 108 for the Cubs, minus 126 for the Diamondbacks. Let's see where the money is going. Over 69% going with Arizona at that minus 126 cost. 93% going with them on the run line at plus 158. They're looking to cash that out. Probably not going to have it. There's another high, minus 192, another high cost for a spread at that plus 108. The Cubs are at plus 108. 31% of the money going with them on that one. If you see the Cubs odds go up here, if this goes up to 35, 36, 40% per se, it may not go that high, but let's say it does, over 31%. Go with the Cubs on the ML. Go with the Cubs on the ML. Go with the Cubs across the board on the run line as well. But if you see that decrease, if you see this decrease, this plus 108, this 31% at 69% going with Arizona, and if you see this plus 108 decrease to about plus 102 or something like that, definitely go with the Diamondbacks and this one on the ML. Over under 8.5, minus 122 going under. I would fade the public and go with the under only if these odds for the under decrease. If this stays 13 and below or goes deep, it goes under 13, I would go with the over. The under, excuse me, the under. But as it currently stands, but if those odds were to flip, I would go with the 87% and join the public and go with the Cubs. Only in those instances, because they make money off this plus 100 too now. The sports books, that's even. Minus 110 is even with the cost, but plus 100 is obviously ultimately even, and they make 100% of that money too. So don't forget that. But they make that extra money here. They make extra money with this minus 122s and things like that. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. This has been MLB opening day. Join the Patreon. Pray every day. I've been Scott. Link is in the description. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.